time for Common Man. Common Man, challenge the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot?
Where'd we play?
Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Well done, young man! Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello?
Welcome back to the spotlight, young man. I'm pulling my tickets.
You know, I didn't like the way we were playing in sack, so I just told him, hey, you're going to live and die with me. Y'all, don't nobody like it. Sit your ass down right here. Don't come out here, but we coming through me. You know, that's why I like Sam to come in. You know, I let them do their things for 3 quarters, come 4th quarter, bring it to the ticket.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, but they fooled me once. Shame on you. To fool me, can't get fooled again.
A little puck talk, a little hoop action. We're happy for you.
Do you believe in miracles?
Yes! Yes, I do!
We're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. We're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
Okay, calm down.
We said it was going to be a tough guy game. Well, you live by the dog, you die by the dog.
Yes! No! Yes! No!
Stop!
He's the clown from Brown. He's the 4th in the North.
There's worse things
This
you could be.
is the common man, Dan Cole.
You know, people will often ask me, how's it going, Common? And my response is always, I got a daytime job. I'm doing all right. It's from, it's a lyric from a song called Sultans of Swing by the Dire Straits. And Harry doesn't mind if he doesn't make the scene. He's got a daytime job. He's doing all right. I'm okay, you know. And you know, I tell this to people all the time. Another thing, I know people get annoyed with me. I've probably said it to Tenneby every day for how many years now? I mean, I don't think I was saying this. I didn't have this phrase coined, you know, when you first started. But I bet for 10, 12 years, the first thing I said, what's it like being Tenneby? And you guys go, it's all right. I think it's a little bit more than all right. But maybe not, you know. What's I?
Depends on the day.
Yeah, I if one person is another. But what I always tell people is, like I'll say, it's a pretty good gig being Tenneby, and it is. Now there's better gigs.
It's a lot better.
But there are worse.
There are, yes.
Nordo? No, I'm just kidding. Nordo's got a great gig, especially the next week and a half because PA's out, I think. Nordo was out for 3 days, and I think PA's out on a little vacay.
Nordo did have a different glow to him today.
He did, didn't he? Did he do a rap today? I didn't catch the end of the grum. I guess you don't do it. You take a day off from that. Here's another question. Not that this matters. Maybe I should know. This is what advocates matter. Ask questions. Was Nordo in that room and Charge hosted, or did Charge?
Charge was in your chair.
Okay.
Nordo was in this chair.
And they did a nice little. Sounds like they were talking about smoking dope. I see a lot of texts about dope smoking that have come into the Brad, John, Brian, KFAN text line at 64686. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Tennessee. I think I did my husbandly Valentine's Day duty. You know, my wife leaves for work. Well, first of all, Deuce flies into town. Flew in from Miami Beach by OAC. Didn't get to bed last night. And the paper bag was on my knee. Man, what a dreadful flight. So, but he takes a flight, and I love Deuce. This is what's nice. He even said, maybe I should have just not went to class on Thursday and took a direct flight on Delta, which would have cost a little bit more. But
worth it.
He flew out of Omaha, had a 2-hour layover in Chicago.
Oh.
Then from Chicago to Minneapolis. And, of course, you know, the arrival time changed. So he was supposed to roll in. He was going to touch down international runway at like 11:07 or something, right? That's okay. You know, I'm usually dozing in and out of the couch 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then I get it and start getting ready for even 11 o'clock, so it's perfect. Then all of a sudden I get the text from him. He goes, it's going to be late, and I check Flight Aware, whatever it's called, tracking the flight. He's not getting in until 12:17. And, of course, get off the plane. By the time you get to the car, it's 12:30, 12:35, drive home, go to bed. And then once Potato leaves at 6:30, I can't get back to bed. I'm going on like 5 hours. And we've got fights tonight. That's why Deuce is in town. But I'm a tough guy. You know, I can do it. It's like I'm not Steve Kerr. Did you see the Steve Kerr video?
No.
Maury sent it to me. He was complaining about the flight from Houston to Dallas because they had to leave at 3 o'clock in the morning. And he basically says, you know, the NBA probably apparently doesn't care about the health of the players. All they care about is ratings. And I want to say, yeah, and I think with the kind of money you're all making because of those ratings, coming from Kerr just seemed kind of odd. So he's one of those guys, I guess, that believes that if you have to leave town late and have back-to-backs, you're just not going to be ready to play. He goes, well, that's what he actually said. We're just going to have to strap it on.
I would think like Houston to Dallas. Did you say Houston to Dallas?
That's what I thought somebody said it was.
I was going to say, that wouldn't be the worst back-to-back in the world. I think there's worse back-to-backs than that distance.
It was the 8:45 start because he goes, you know, because the ratings. Well, yeah. I mean, don't have the best player, one of the best players ever to play the game, or shooters in the game. Don't have a good club. Be a terrible team, and you won't have 8:45 starts. It's just so preposterous. It's actually disappointing.
That being said, I complain about when the Wolves have to have 8:45 starts.
Yeah.
Or the Wild.
Yeah.
Every year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
All the Wild games because we're playing West Coast teams.
Yeah, well, it is. It's like
first face-off at 8:50.
It's a follow the money.
Who cares about the kids?
Well, you know what? If we don't do that though, then there won't be as much money available, and these guys will find other things to do with their lives, and there will be no National Hockey League Tennessee. So if you want the National Hockey League, you're gonna have to deal with that.
Did Deuce not have his car?
No, I didn't want him driving. He was, you know, he makes that trip so often. It's a 7-hour trip. So you'd have to drive 7 hours to come here to call 2 fights tonight and then turn around and drive.
Yeah, but if you're making 2 flights, right, you got to fly to Chicago, then fly here. You got the layover in between. You got to get there an hour and a half, 2 hours early.
Yeah, maybe you're
It's all going to equal out.
Yeah.
It's cheaper to drive.
It's the only way to fly. Well, he should have done it that way because, of course, then the flight didn't come in until, say, 12:17.
Yeah.
But then I took the Valentine, and Potato leaves at 6:30. He said, we're not going to be home tonight for Valentine's Day because of the fight. So I leaned the cart up against the coffee maker, you know, little cart I got for her. And then when she went to work, I went downstairs and pulled out the dozen roses just because. And then I got the dozen roses that are sitting on the kitchen table with another card. Oh. How about this card? Real simple. It's got the picture of a heart, but it's like a jigsaw puzzle. It's got one piece missing. It's just to the right of it, and it's a heart. And then inside it says, "You complete me."
You've got to be kidding me.
Cheesy, I'll admit, but it's not from the first time we met. When I looked into it's not like that AI song you played yesterday. You did AI to do a Valentine's Day song. That's way cheesy. This is just simple. You're the final piece of my puzzle. That's how I would have wrote it if I was writing. I would have said, "You're the final piece of my puzzle, and you complete me." See, I don't know. You complete me. I don't know. I like
that's a little over the top cheesy for me.
I thought Well, what did you do, Mr. Hopeless Romantic? Did you do a card or didn't you even do it?
I still have to sign it and fill it out tonight. I'll do it when I get home from work.
Well, what does yours say?
I forget.
So it meant nothing. You just went in and grabbed the first one saw and said, that's it.
I remember. I don't remember exactly word for word what it says.
Somebody yesterday suggested, make a homemade one. Are you out of your mind? I have no talent in artwork. I've read. I'll do this again too. I'll bring some of them back out anytime. We do a. I was wondering when they were going to do their parade. Is that today?
Yeah.
Aren't we happy for them? Oh, so that's what a world championship parade looks like.
Do you like parades?
Why? I never saw one before. This is what it looks like. Is that what they're doing right now? Oh, look at. There's hundreds of thousands of people all gathered together, celebrating.
Just
cheering.
imagine how much work productivity is being lost in Philadelphia right now.
Look, they all look like they're having fun. Wow. Wouldn't that be great?
I'm surprised they weren't climbing on anything or assaulting anyone yet.
I wonder if we're ever going to be able to have anything like that. Wow, that looks fun. But it's like, it's something I've never experienced before, so it's very foreign to me, as you might expect. We got a really big shoe today. PST, Triple B, Double I, results and pairings at 12:30.
Yeah.
Lil B joins us. Feminine Touch the program 1 until 1:30. And then for Valentine's Day, for program password, all ladies except for me, but I've told you before, I have several feminine traits to me. I like wearing women's underwear. It's part of my turn on. I like shopping, and I have women's intuition. And then, it's Amy Hockert and Audra Martin, right?
Yes.
To join Lil B and myself for program password. Deuce is in town. He's going to come in around 2:30 or so, and then we'll tap dance victory formation segment up to the top of the hour. Right now, though, Tennessee has got a. What do you think of that? Tennessee's got a keyword for us.
Yes, the fan wants to give you a shot to put $1,000 in your hand with our national cash contest. Just enter the keyword bank at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is bank. Enter now at KFAN.com.
Forever.
The Fan.
Wild Wednesday is sponsored by Jim Beam, the official bourbon of the Minnesota Wild. They're here all season long. Listen every Wednesday through March for your chance to win tickets.
Couple 13-14 past. I'm Common. He is Tennessee. Couple 13-14 past. A lot of different ways you can get a hold of us. 1-800-320-5326. We think the phone's disconnected, but go ahead and give it a try anyways. Booth at KFAN.com is the email address. KFAN Talkback. We don't utilize that as often as we should. I've been promising to do that. I don't like to rush into anything. So, matter of fact, that was one of my New Year's resolutions, was to get to it at least a handful of talkbacks every day. Not only did I break that New Year's resolution and all the rest, but 7 of the 10 commandments as well. And then, Talkback, iHeartRadio app, search stations, find the fan, icon, microphone, corner, screen, tap, 30 seconds or less. And then there's this is the most effective and best way to get a hold of us. It's pretty simple for you too, I think. It's just texting. It's the Bradshaw and Bryant, KFAN text. So what was under brilliant? Oh, I just lost net. Oh! You think you can find that again? That's one of my favorite sound effects of all time. Bradshaw and Bryant, KFAN text line 64686. This one says, I'm with Tenna. Such a bad card. I didn't get it for you. The card wasn't intended for you. Part of it's knowing your audience. I knew my wife would like it. And if I were to send this guy a card that I'm with Tenna, such a bad card, I would have sent one to you. Happy Valentine's Day, loser. Good luck finding a chick. This is what do you mean it's a bad card? There's no such thing as a bad card. You got to know your audience.
Yes.
It doesn't work for 10 to be. That's fine.
Every wife, every girlfriend, they're all different.
She likes that.
They all have different needs, different
and you
wants.
know what? She does complete me. If I didn't have my wife, I would be an empty vessel. An empty Ming vase. Now, my wife, I wouldn't have Deuce and baby brother Peter. She completes me. It's a wonderful card. Loser. Please. So, just had to do that. Just wanted to call him a loser. I don't really mean it. It just sounds good. Peek at the Purple brought to you by Affordable Electric. You know, it's going to be miserable. This cold spell, it's not going to snap for a while. So, that, you know, Nick and his crew over at Affordable Electric, shockingly affordable, by the way, they do like, they'll put heat in your floors and your baseboards, and they'll wire boilers. They'll do anything to keep you warm. Plus, if you're worried about your pipes, your plumbing bursting, because the pipes get frozen, they can take care of that as well. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for for all of your electrical needs. Affordable-electric.com. Affordable Electric, shockingly affordable. We're not going to do a peek at the purple, though. We're going to do whiff of the wolves. Teddy, have you ever inverted numbers before in your life? Have you ever done like on a phone call? Have you ever done this? You send somebody a text.
Yeah.
And you know
flip it upside down.
They weren't in in your contacts. Like it was the first time you got it from somebody, so you respond to them, and their number's like 6968, and you go 6869. And then it happened to me the other day, somebody goes, huh? And I go, sorry, wrong number. I thought they inverted the numbers on the scoreboard last night. Did the Wolves really beat the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Yes.
You got to be kidding me.
It's a weird league.
How did they do that?
After losing to a Bucks team without their two best players, and then they were missing a bunch of players last night, and they go in and beat OKC.
And they were
the best team in the league.
And OKC was full strength. And Nas Reed, he was simply brilliant, at least the box that I saw. 27, I think he had double-digit points. I think he had a double-double. And, again, I think he was, it sounds as, here's when I know Ant is really not happy, when there's no quotes from him in the game. And my guess is it's the one thing that concerns me about Ant. I think, do you think this is true? Do you think he'd rather score 41 and lose or score 12 and win?
He might be one of those 41 and loses guys.
I sometimes feel that way. But anyway, they did win, and they beat OKC. He posterized a hungry Holmgren, from what I understand. That's what the kids call it, right? Posterize him. And he was able to do that. So they win, and I think that's their last game before the All-Star break. So it's nice to, you get to slide into the All-Star break with a real nice win. The headline was a little over the top. And I know I think that was the 11th loss of the season, 10th or 11th loss of the year for OKC. So I guess they don't lose often, but the headline in the Fish Wrap Factory West Side, I just loved it. It said, Timberwolves do what few have done. Defeat Oklahoma City. And it's like, okay, yeah, I know. It's almost like it's few, where men dare not tread. Where only eagles dare. It's like, come on. But they win, and that's a nice victory. Though another Timberwolves note, I don't think is receiving as much attention as it probably should. George Rogan Media, I don't know who he is, but he writes, Minnesota Timberwolves fans have been named the 6th rudest in the NBA. After research revealed they have cursed over 11,000 times on social media in 2025. We're barely a month, we're exactly a month and a half into the new year, and we've cursed 225 times. And I'm thinking to myself, is he sure he's not quoting how many times Ant has used foul language during a interview? Because he's done that a number. How much has he been fined now? Hundreds.
Multiple times.
Yeah, I think hundreds of thousands of dollars. The research from Flash Picks. analyzed each NBA team. Here's what's crazy. Who would even think of doing this? The research from Flash Picks analyzed each NBA team's official subreddit page. What's a subreddit page? Do you know what that is?
I know Reddit's a website that's kind of like a community chat. It's basically a bigger version of what we used to have with Rube Chat.
Oh, okay.
I've never really gone on Reddit, so I'm not going to act like I know what subreddit is or anything like that.
My assumption then sub is like there's Reddit and then read it and then eat it. Analyzed each NBA's team's official subreddit page and calculated the total number of times bad language was posted since the beginning of 2025 to determine which fans are the most foul-mouthed. For one, who even came up with the idea to do that? Hey, I got a great little research thing we can do. What's that? Let's go to Reddit, subreddit, each team's page. Let's count how many times when some fan dropped an F-bomb. Okay. What do we do with the information? We give it to the buffoon at noon, and he uses it to kill a segment on a Fed Up Friday. Timberwolves fans have posted 11,435 curse words on Reddit this year, with the F word used on 5,560 occasions. So not quite half, but used 5,560. That's a lot of F-bombs. That'll blow up a lot of stuff. More than 48% of their total profanity. The Reddit group has 358,000 members, and fans also posted the S word, SH word, 2,043 times, as well as like a donkey. I mean, I know you can say it on the radio, but I'm afraid.
Asterisk.
Yeah,
asterisk.
Right, yes. 1,395 times. The Mavericks are number one, and I can see why. How bitter do you...
Especially in the last couple of weeks.
And that's where I would bet most of their foul words have been. They made a late rush to me.
Yes.
They've got volume swearing over the last couple of weeks, right? Or last couple of, about a week or so. Lakers, do you think theirs was just, hell yeah, right? Because they're just delighted, right?
They're swearing, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's the Golden State Warriors 3, Nuggets 4, Knickerbockers 5, and then the Minnesota Timberwolves at number 6. The Lakers have the largest number of fans in subreddit, though. They got an advantage. They got 1,500,000.
Wow.
We've only, we're not even at a 500,000, but there you go. I don't think we're trying hard enough. And you should see some of the other words. I mean, some of them I don't even really think are swear words. I mean, I don't think they are, but nonetheless, there you go, just so you know. We'll pause and come back. Controversial Vikings news, other side of the break. By the way, the Whiff of the Wolves was brought to you by our friends at affordable-electric.com. Affordable Electric, yeah, shockingly affordable. Back with a little of this, a little of that, with the emphasis on the lat. We'll do that next here on the Common Man program on The Fan.
One OK Rock is storming the Armory with their high voltage performance.
1K Rock.
Be there for an epic night of rock on June 7th with special guests, Stand Atlantic. Check out our contest page to see how you can win your way in. That's KFAN.com. Keyword contest to enter today.
I didn't tease it. I knew we were going to PST, Triple V, Double I, results and pairings. I knew that was coming up. But then as we were in the break, I forgot, because I have a very bad memory, and I was frantically searching for something to talk about. And then so when you didn't hear me, you played some bumper music.
I played the wrong music to begin with, yeah.
Yeah, but I think you were, and then I thought maybe you waiting for me to say something, and I don't know what to say because I can't find anything. And then I hear the music, and it was music to my ears, because now it's time for PST, Triple V, Double I. Results and pairings tend to be. This is first round action. What you got for us?
Yeah, so we're going to begin with the results, and then we'll reveal the pairings that will be voted on shortly here on the KFAN Twitter account at KFAN1003. Well, let's go to the results of the first round of the
North Region, presented by Arthur's Jewelers.
The King O Diamonds.
The number 1 seed is Anthony Rendon. On playing in the major leagues, he said, quote, "I do not wish this life upon anybody." He went up against the number 16 seed Mark Rosen, who said, "I spent way too much on Timberwolves tickets this last year." A little closer than I think maybe Anthony Rendon would have liked it, but he does advance. He wins 59 to 42%.
Rosen's out?
Well, at least this statement in. He has others.
No, but are you sure he didn't invert those numbers like I did? You know, I think he had an impassioned defense of himself yesterday.
Yeah, you think he influenced?
Well, but you know what? As much as I want to believe it and don't even care if it was true or not, I wanted him to win. But I do think that when he took his son to a couple of those games, I don't think those were freebies. I don't even think Rosen's getting freebies for when it's playoff time. Glenn wants the money.
Yeah.
So when he's sitting courtside or in the media, he's not spending. He hasn't. My guess is he hasn't bet a red cent this year, but he probably did spend some money for playoff tickets. So probably it's just as good that he didn't win it. So congratulations to who was the guy that?
Anthony Rendon.
Anthony Rendon.
North Region, presented by Arthur's Jewelers.
The number 8 seed Cam Bynum said, quote, "I thought Ray Gunn's Olympic performance was really good."
Who is Ray Gunn? I don't get this one.
This year in the Summer Olympics, they had why can I not think of that form of dancing now where they're on the ground all the time? Breakdancing. Yes, breakdancing. And she basically went viral because she was literally like the worst breakdancer. It was almost like a joke.
Oh, okay.
Come to find out there was like corruption to getting her way into the Olympics to begin with. But she was just awful and everyone was making fun of her. And then Cam Bynum, I think, for one of his touchdown celebrations, mimicked one of her dances and then went on Barrero the next day and started talking about how he thought the performance was good. And he was being sincere. I listened to it live. He wasn't like joking about it.
All right.
So he thought it was a really good performance. Yeah.
Go, Cam, be easy.
Cam Bynum went up against the number 9 seed Andrew Patterson of Winnipeg Sports Talk. After the Minnesota Wild announced a whiteout promotion for a regular season game, he said, quote, "Can we talk about the Minnesota Wild putting out today the promotion of the whiteout? How the hell does the Jets' biggest rivals feel it is appropriate or kosher to do a whiteout promotion, which is the signature playoff promotion of the Winnipeg Jets?"
Some people think I live in a very what's the
cocoon.
word? Yeah, cocoon.
Yeah.
This guy's obviously. Yeah, I'm very sure he's living in a cocoon. What do you have for us?
Well, Cam might have thought that Ray Gunn's Olympic performance was really good. I don't think his preposterous statement tournament performance was very good.
No.
Andrew Patterson advances 68 to 32%.
You know, by the time this is over, the next couple of weeks, we might be calling him Andy instead of Andrew because we're going to have a really good vibe with him, I think.
North Region, presented by Arthur's Jewelers.
Yes.
Do you think he's one of those guys that'll be bitter if he catches wind of this?
I don't know.
But if he's one of those guys, well, no, it's not preposterous.
He probably will catch wind of this because there's many people in Winnipeg that listen to this station. So someone's going to connect with them.
My guess is he'll be one of those guys who'll be bitter about it, too.
If he's bitter about the Wild doing a whiteout, he's going to get bitter about being in the tournament. The number 4 seed Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy, after running back Ollie Gordon II was arrested for DUI, he said, quote, "He's going to play. I'm going to do what we think is best for Oklahoma State football, and I think it's best for Ollie to play. If there is any punishment, it's making him carry the ball 50 times in the first game." He went up against the number 13 seed Paul Charchian, who tweeted, "For 6 years, Kirk haters have breathlessly exclaimed that it's impossible to win with a quarterback on an expensive contract. Yesterday, the Chiefs hoisted the Lombardi with the highest paid player in the league." Charch has some better statements in this tournament, and those are going to have to hold up because this one does not advance.
No.
Mike Gundy wins 58 to 42%.
Mike Gundy moves on. All right.
North Region, presented by Arthur's Jewelers.
The number 5 seed is Jim Edmonds on tipping pitches. He said, quote, "You're a Caucasian man with a white baseball and you have a black glove. I think the black glove, it really does the injustice because you can see all the little movements. I probably would go to a tan baseball glove if I was worried about it." He went up against the number 12 seed Meat Sauce, who said, quote, "I'm too impatient for fast food. Common, as you know, this 5-12 matchup historically in the NCAA tournament and the Preposter Statement tournament is known for upsets.
Yes.
And in this one,
it holds true.
Upset alert.
Meat Sauce advances 58-42% over Jim Edmonds.
You know, is now that Jim Edmonds has exited stage left, I was going to make this comment. I thought, well, we can wait a while because he might advance, but this will be the last time we talk about Jim. It seems like a lot of these baseball-type analyst guys always get these just bizarre...
Yes.
You know, because remember, was it the guy that was on with Lefebvre who talked about the chewing gum confidently, and then
squinting in the eyes in the
your
sun.
eyes in the sun drains energy from you? And this one is really very similar. That Caucasian guy with the black gloves, like, what are you talking about? So it's, but again, a nice run. I mean, he didn't get deep, but you know, you never know. Maybe he'll return next year.
Congrats to Meat Sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
North Region, presented by Arthur's Jewelers.
The number 6 seed Greg Rosenthal tweeted, "You can't tell the history of football without him is so flawed as a Hall of Fame argument because Kirk Cousins is one of the most pivotal figures of the last 13 years. He'll go up against the number 11 seed Joe Nelson on the Wolves. I won't read the entire thing, but he basically said that the Wolves were the deepest team ever."
Well, what did you think of them last night, Tenneby? A lot of contributions from a lot of people. As a matter of fact, I would even say if you squint and you watch, who is it? Looks like AI? Rob Dilling. Rob Dilling. He looks a lot like Allen Iverson.
Well, most people agree with Joe because Greg Rosenthal advances 74-26%.
Wow.
Not even close.
No.
North Region, presented by Arthur's Jewelers.
Basketball community rallied to the defense of Tiny Joe.
The number 3 seed is Eventbrite on Meat Sauce's comedy. It said, quote, "His stand-up comedy is a natural extension of his persona and has been compared to many of the pioneers of comedy." He went up against the number 14 seed Michael Irvin, who, talking about Jake Paul, says, "Everyone likes Mike Tyson, but everyone loves and respects Jake Paul also for what he's done." Eventbrite advances 59-41%.
Meat Sauce.
North Region, presented by Arthur's Jewelers.
The number 7 seed Parker Fox on Caitlin Clark said, quote, "When I see the color yellow now, it's kind of changed that I look at the color yellow because of Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes." He went up against the number 10 seed Justin Gard. On the Timberwolves, he said, quote, "Even if they win the title, I'm going to be bummed because I just like watching them play." I really liked Parker in this matchup, but
upset alert.
Justin Gard advances 56-44%. Parker goes down.
Well, maybe a lot of other people, when they see the color yellow, when they think of Caitlin Clark.
It's not once occurred to me, but congratulations to JG.
North Region, presented by Arthur's Jewelers.
The number 2 seed is Myles Garrett. He defended Deshaun Watson and criticized those who booed him after he was injured, saying, quote, "He's been a model citizen through college and also the pros." He went up against the number 15 seed Taylor Gooch after missing out on a Masters invitation. Said, quote, "If Rory McIlroy goes and completes the Grand Slam without some of the best players in the world, there's just going to be an asterisk. It's just the reality."
Yep.
No asterisk here because this wasn't even close. Myles Garrett wins 88-12%.
Wow. Myles Garrett, he came
down.
He came to dominate.
All right, so those are the results. First round of the North Region presented by Arthur's Jewelers. Now let's move on to the
West Region.
You'll be able to vote on these matchups shortly on the KFAN X/Twitter account at KFAN1003. Let's begin with the number 1 seed, Skip Bayless.
I think Bronny will be pretty good. I think he'll become a clutch three-point shooter. I've always gotten the feeling that Bronny had a bigger clutch gene than his father does.
Skip's going to go up against the number 16 seed, Brian Oak, who said, quote, "Even if Sexy Back were the only song Timbaland ever co-wrote, he would still be worthy of inclusion in the Songwriters Hall of Fame."
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do the Baylesses of the world, you know these guys that do those national shows day after day for 2-3 hours, they don't believe a lot of what they say, right?
They might not.
It's a shock
They're trying to get
value.
clicks. They're trying to get us to talk about them on the air.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're talking about that's as preposterous as it gets.
West Region.
The number 8 seed is Mark Ryan, who is a Detroit radio host. He tweeted, "Detroit is the youngest team in baseball. Last season, none of the 8 youngest teams made the playoffs. Houston had been to 7 straight American League Championship Series. You're witnessing baseball's version of the Miracle on Ice.
That's it.
Mark's going to go up against the number 9 seed, Ben Lieber, on the Vikings' great start to the season. Ben said, quote, I think they can go 10-0 and be the talk and all of a sudden be looked at in that light, but I actually hope kind of not, because I don't want it to be a distraction.
So he wanted them to lose.
He wanted them to lose games because it'll be a distraction.
So it's similar. It's sort of in a way, sort of like Gorg saying it's always nice to get out to a lead, but I'd rather keep it 0-0 for as long as
I'd rather win all those games and be the 1 seed and have a bye in the playoffs and play at home.
But that's an apt comparison where they're both kind of like,
sure.
It's like, well, no, you want to get out to a big lead, and you want to win all your games. So, yeah, good for Ben.
Better to be 10-0 than 0-10.
West Region.
Now, this is going to be heard for the first time because during the Preposterous Statement Tournament Selection Show, we did not have this audio. Eric Tebow, former inter guy for the Fan, now has this audio, and it's very good. Here's Paul Charchian, the number 4 seed. Here's what he said on Fantasy Football Weekly about Saquon Barkley.
You are wrong about the talent. You don't think he has talent? Saquon Barkley is cooked. Oh, okay. Let's put some numbers against it. I would much rather have the recently re-upped Ramondre Stevenson. Mm-hmm. I would rather have Jonathan Brooks. I'd rather have Zamir White. You know where those guys are going?
Like RB 15 to 20?
Pick 90.
Yeah.
I am so far off Saquon Barkley. To me, we have to get to round 8. Wow. He has an ADP of the middle of round 2. I would take Saquon Barkley in round 8.
Charge will go up against the number 13 seed, Jim Peterson, who said, quote, Wemby is not physically gifted yet. You seem speechless over there.
Well, the Charge one is just, and I believed it, but hearing the audio of it, it's just like Brady's done.
Yeah, it's very similar. He's almost the MVP of this season.
I'm sorry, that was Jim Peterson with the Wemby.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was so stunned by it that I wasn't really even listening at that. I was still trying to kind of comprehend what I had just heard from Charge, but yeah, and I just got to think Jim's going to
he doesn't have a chance.
I just don't think he has a chance. It's unfortunate, because we like
West Region.
The number 5 seed is J.J. Redick on the Lakers drafting Bronny James. J.J. said, quote, Bronny has earned this. Bronny has earned this through hard work. Mm-hmm. He'll go up against the number 12 seed, Liev Schreiber of HBO's Hard Knocks. When a backup Bears quarterback threw a touchdown to a backup Bears wide receiver in a preseason game, he said, quote, Colin Johnson's laser-sharp route, Rippon's rifle right arm, hasn't just given the Bears the lead, but a whole city hope.
The whole city's hope. Hopium being sold, peddled on street corners everywhere. So good.
West Region.
The number 6 seed is Texas Tyler Owens. Doesn't, quote, believe in space, as in, quote, other planets, and feels flat earth theories have some, quote, valid points.
Well, there's a few valid points. It's not completely flat. It's kind of just rounded at the edges.
Owens is going to go up against the number 11 seed, Joey Galloway, before Indiana played Ohio State. He suggested that Indiana sit their starting quarterback, Curtis Rourke.
Now, honestly, if we believe in what our metrics are saying, if I'm Indiana, I don't know if I'm playing Rourke against Ohio State. We've seen what happened to Florida State last year, Jordan Travis. What could keep Indiana out of this? Getting their quarterback hurt. We've seen it happen to Florida State last year.
Just bench your quarterback. I'm afraid he's going to get hurt. Is that what he's insinuating?
Yeah. It's Indiana versus Ohio State. You're undefeated.
Yeah.
Just sit your starting quarterback. Don't want him to get hurt.
West Region.
People think I have a lot, and you thought my 5 running backs on a team was crazy.
The number 3 seed, Greg Papa, on emotional farewell to the A's in Oakland Coliseum, said, quote, like closing the casket on your mom or dad. Papa's going to go up against the number 14 seed, Mark Rosen, on going to the Guthrie, Orpheum, courtside seats at Target Center and Williams Arena on 4 consecutive nights. Quote, it's available to everybody.
That's a terrific one, but when the A's leaving was like, how did he say
closing
that again?
The casket on your mom or dad.
It's almost not funny. It's actually kind of sad, really, but I guess he's into his Oakland A's, so good for him.
West Region.
The number 7 seed is Zach Halverson.
Zacko.
He tweeted, one of the biggest upsets in Minnesota high school hockey history. Chanhassen defeats number 1 and undefeated Minnetonka 2-1 and will head to the state tournament for their first time in program history. As I noted, Chanhassen was 22-5 last year. They took second in the state, and they had only lost to Minnetonka by 1 goal early in the season. Not the biggest upset in the history
I wouldn't think
of high school hockey.
No.
Zach will go up against the number 10 seed Joel Klatt, who said this.
Here's the thing that you got to understand about the NFL.
You know what he does?
It doesn't matter who your coach is.
Doesn't matter. You pick somebody out of the stands and throw them out there.
I think some teams would disagree with that.
Yeah, a lot of teams would
All right,
disagree
final
with that.
matchup.
All right.
West Region.
The number 2 seed Paul Allen said this about his favorite football team.
This Minnesota Vikings team is absolutely Super Bowl caliber. I don't feel that very often.
PA is going to go up against FanDuel, who tweeted, should Taylor Swift get a ring if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl?
Well,
that's it. You can vote on them shortly at KFAN1003 on Twitter or X, whatever you're calling it these days.
I do believe that a lot of these NFL teams, and maybe it's the same in MLB, NBA, NHL, FBI, CIA, BBC, BB King, and Doris Day. But they give rings to almost anybody affiliated with the team. I truly believe that if the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota, now I know you have to really use your imagination. If they were to win a world championship, a big game, PA would get one, right? Bursic would get one. How about Chris?
I better get one then.
And I was going to say, you would get one. I bet hockey would get one. I don't know if they trickle down to the cheerleaders. My guess is concession workers aren't going to get them. But I think people that are affiliated with the team in any way, shape, or form are going to get them. I think you'd get one.
I don't think I will, but I would happily take it.
I would have, but
unfortunately, that's a hypothetical that just will never happen.
I would have, but I was not asked back to participate. Am I the only on-air staff member at the Fan that doesn't participate in the Vikings football production?
Gerdsey.
Gerdsey's not in.
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No. PA Nordo is, yes. Meets us. Corey Cove doesn't really anymore. And then I think Nordo took over. Maybe he did do a couple fan lines. I don't remember. I feel like Nordo did all the fan lines.
Gerdsey's not very busy. Why?
He's got nothing going on.
He's got nothing going on. Oh, and Big Ticket isn't either, is he? Big Ticket doesn't do anything anymore.
Yeah, there's plenty of them.
There's plenty. All of us would be ringless. All of us would be ringless.
If you'd like to take over for my job so you have a chance at a ring, go ahead. It's all yours.
It's that's not that important. Because that's one of those things where it's well, I guess it would be cool, but it's they probably wouldn't give them to the radio crew. They should, but I don't think they. But would you really feel like you were part of the reason they won it? Because I think you're supposed to get if you feel like you were instrumental in. Do you feel that, Teneby, that your performance as the master control supervisor is instrumental to the success on the football field?
Well, if I said that, then I would also be to blame for all the seasons that come up very short. So I'm going to just say no.
I would say probably not. So, okay, now, this just came in. We'll take this to break and then welcome Lil B in. It says, this might be PST worthy. Charge started the show today talking about how his fantasy basketball trade got vetoed by the commissioner in a $100 buy-in league, and he was basically saying it's a friendship ender. He can't be friends with the commissioner anymore because he vetoed his trade. He didn't really say that, did he? A friendship ender?
He was saying it could be. I don't know if he was saying he would be breaking it up. I think he fears the commissioner is going to not want to be his friend after because he said I either got to leave the league after the year's over, or I got to leave the league now. So I just quit in the middle of the league. And I actually don't disagree with him. There should not be a commissioner just going, I don't think that trade's fair. Those two teams agreed to it. The guy pitched the trade to Church. It's not on the commissioner to veto trades. If you think there's collusion and you have evidence of collusion, that's a different story.
All right, let me ask you a question.
But you shouldn't just be able to veto trades.
Let's say Glenn Taylor he figures, well, I'm gonna lose this arbitration case, and he does. And let's say that arbitration would have come in before the trade deadline, and he said, I'm announcing I'm trading Ant to the Chicago Bulls for first-round pick and some backup player. Do you think the commissioner would step in and veto that?
I don't think they would.
I think he would.
Why is that?
Because Glenn's doing it out of spite. There's no reason to make that trade. And now that you bought a team, and you bought that team, that's like if I were to sell you a house and you were to agree to it, and then I pull out the wet bar because I want to bring it with me. It's like, it's controversial. I tend to be it. If you don't agree with me, this could be a friendship ender.
Well, so, maybe our friendship is over now.
Maybe it's over now. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Lil B, feminine touch of the program. She joins us next here on The Fan.